I have two things to report. One would be the legislative activity as the legislature has ended. The bills that we were watching, AB 231, which we lobbied, which was to put town boards into a selection process to replace openings on the board. And that passed, ultimately bringing that into conformity with what we do as a 318 district. It was originally intended that the county commissioners would always do that. But the final outcome was the town boards have 30 days now to fill a vacancy. So we were successful, I guess, in lobbying that. That was an Oscarson bill. It was relatively easy to lobby, and he was easy to work with. The Valley Bill 391, which would have put you under PUC jurisdiction if you served outside your service territory, was ultimately vetoed by the governor, which we felt, and our comments to the governor were such that law already exists in front of the PUC that simply needs to be followed to address these issues. You don't need a new law. I'm not sure why the governor chose to veto it, but it certainly fit in with our thoughts on it. So, and we lobbied that one quite a bit. There was SB 366 called the Robinson Mine Bill. Had mostly to do with Mount Wheeler and the Robinson Mine up there. And that was a successful. Actually, what they did is kick it back, told the parties, if you solve it, the legislature will, and you won't like what we do. So they work things out on their own. SB 438, the CRC bonding, which will save us some money. They'll refinance those bonds, reduce the debt service on that, and we'll receive a proportionate share of that. It reduces the overall cost of the hydro by $1 million. It'll depend upon what they sell the bonds for, but $1.2 million, $1.3 million. There's 400 and something megawatts comes into Nevada, and you can do the math, and we get our hydro's about 16 megawatts, and you come up with our savings on that. AB 199 was a regulation regarding new hydro allocation in order to allow CRC to have new customers. When they reauthorized Hoover, they reserved 5% for new customers. CRC does not have authority to market that. They can only do existing customers. This bill allowed them to get some additional customers, and they had to work it out with Nevada Power on some of the issues involved. So we weren't heavily involved in that, but we're glad to see it took place. The next bill, SB 37, which is penalties for scrap metal, passed, which we're happy to see that take place. While this one doesn't affect us, we should be aware of it. SB 79. If you're a municipality who owns a utility, the proceeds from the utility cannot be placed into the general fund, and that one passed. So, talked to Boulder City on that, and it looks to me like different bookkeeping techniques may strengthen or weaken that particular statute. 123, which is the one that closes the coal plants and authorizes Nevada Energy to build 350 megawatts from renewables and another 550 from other electric generating plants. So that one passed, and we'll see what happens with that. And I think that concludes all of the bills that had anything directly to do with us. There were other bills that were followed by our lobbyists that had to do with some of the sage grouse issues and stuff like that. So that's anyway an update on that. If you have any questions on that.
Was that last one you're talking about? That included the tie line between Ely and Crystal?
Yeah.
As far as transmission costs across that, when they start moving power north and south?
That is, we'll cover that, how that affects us, probably under item H. That merger and rate filing is scheduled to be completed by January 1, and that could have an effect on us. But we'll talk about that when we get down to there.
Dale, one of the NV Energy build on coal, I saw that they were talking about they have to have it by 2019. There was talk earlier that they were planning on closing the plant early. So is the talk now we'll keep it running for years, or?
No, you still got the BART. The BART will kick in 2016, which you have to improve. So 1, 2, 3 shut down at the end of 14. And 4 is 17, or they could. It already passes the BART rules, so they might shut down Navajo first. Depends on how that works out, but Navajo, and we get like 250 megawatts from Navajo. So Navajo shut down and we Garden by end of 14 or 19.
Now, I'd heard that they were talking about possibly replacing gas turbines. Is that still a possibility too, rather than shutting down the plant?
Well,
There's a possibility.
yeah, they're looking at gas. They'll have to come up with some gas fired.
That's one thing that bill allows them to build.
But they also have,
550.
yeah, they also have to buy more renewables too.
Yeah, I saw it said renewables and also said other sources, and I assumed that meant gas.
550 is an interesting number because that's about what the stuff there at Dry Lake is. The area out by the time you build 2 gas and a recovery to come up to about 550 megawatts. So that's a kind of a, I think, a standard gas program. But some of those questions may belong to Warren Buffett.
Yeah.